Hello guys and happy Tuesday again. In today's video, yes, I'm going to be revealing my net worth. Now I know quite a few of you guys have been asking for this and I have no idea why, because I am not earning buku bucks, okay? Like, I don't earn that much, so I just thought it was hilarious that so many of you guys have been asking for it. But I do feel it's quite nice that you guys are so interested in my journey, so yes, of course I did have to do this video. But I did want to say first, thank you guys so much, because we did hit 1,000 subscribers, which honestly I cannot believe at all. To think that 1,000 people actually want to watch my content and are happy to subscribe to me is just honestly so amazing. So I just want to thank you guys so much. I am going to be doing my first Q&A on Friday, and I've also got a little announcement for that, so make sure you do tune in for that. But yeah, once again, thank you guys so much. But first in this video, what I want to do is actually go back and see what my net worth statement was like 2 years ago, and then I also want to see how I was doing this time last year and then again in April in 2020. So that would have been like over 6 months ago. And I do remember showing that in my debt video. So I had like a little debt series where I was talking about how I got into debt and how I paid it off. And I basically just took you guys through my net worth statement, I think every 6 months. So I want to just go back to that quickly, see what was happening, and then we're going to go onto my laptop and then we're going to see how I'm doing right now. But first, really quickly, if you are new to my channel, my name is Veronia and I talk about things to do with money, careers, and having a positive mindset for success. So if you do like the sound of that, you can of course subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification below so you don't miss out on any new videos. As you can see, I try to get through that intro really quickly because I know you guys are very interested in the numbers. So on my phone, I do have the screenshots that you guys will have seen when I was talking about my net worth in my debt videos. And basically how I started was in October of 2018. I had a liquid net worth of about minus £16,000. Absolute joke. I'm not even gonna talk through what had happened. If you guys haven't seen that video yet, I will put a link up here for you and you can watch that. But just know that I wasn't always like this, okay? Me and finances, we were not the best of friends a couple of years ago. But also during that year, I had like no savings at all. I hardly ever used to save money at all. Like, I struggled to save money, and you guys know I've spoken about this before, but honestly it was just shambolic and it was just so bad. But you know what, it's all right, we got to start somewhere. But when we started to move into 2019, that's when I really tried to take this seriously and I was trying to pay my debt off, and you can actually see the progress. And you can see that my liquid net worth was about minus £7,000. So I'd gone down from minus 16,000 to about minus 7,000, and you can see that I started to have money in my savings account. So I had actually started saving money, and that was because I really wanted to just have a mini emergency fund. So I really just wanted to have a buffer just in case anything ever happened, so that I didn't actually have to end up going into debt. Let's say if my car broke down, it meant that I had some cash and I was able to pay for anything. But then also at the same time, of course, I was trying to pay off my debt, and you can see I was trying to pay off my overdraft and car loan at the same time. Again, what I would probably do if I was in the same position is just focus on one before I go to the other, because trying to pay them off both at the same time just didn't really work out for me. But yeah, you can start to see some progress, which I think was quite good. And then in April 2020, now 2020 was the year that I really accelerated my progress, and that's when I had basically become a lodger and I was living in the family house. I was only paying like £300 rent or something, so very affordable. But yeah, by that time I had almost £2,000 in my savings, and then also I had actually paid off my entire car loan. So the only thing that I had left was my overdraft, which was absolutely amazing. And you guys know I basically took a small gamble and just chucked everything onto my overdraft just so that I could just pay it off, because I knew that I was getting paid the next month, and it meant that I could start building on my emergency fund. Again though, I have already done a video where I really go into detail on how I actually paid off my debt, so if you haven't watched that, then of course I will put that up here for you guys. But now that we've got that out of the way, I do want to then take you to my laptop. Now the reason why I wanted to show you my starting net worth is because, number one, if you haven't watched my previous videos, then you probably wouldn't understand where I've actually come from. But then secondly, it's also for me to understand like how far I've actually come. Like, I didn't actually realize until I started looking at my starting point, like how much I've actually worked hard to improve my net worth and actually go from a negative to now a positive, which which you guys will see. So yeah, for me, it didn't just take a couple of months. Like, this was hard grafting for about 2 years. So I'm really hoping that this actually provides you inspiration. And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now and we're just gonna go into my laptop. Well, let's go. So if you don't know what a net worth statement is, it is basically your assets minus your liabilities. So when I talk about assets, I'm talking about things that potentially might put money in your pocket, or I guess things that you actually own. So that will include things like my savings, that could include my emergency fund, that can include any investments I have. So if I have property or if I've got stocks and shares. Now, when it comes to things like liabilities, usually I will think of things that actually take money from my pocket or things that I actually will owe to someone. So for example, that could be credit card debt, if you've got any car loans, an overdraft, or any kind of like personal loans, most likely those will be liabilities. So ideally, once you've calculated everything, you want to have a positive net worth and not a negative net worth. And if you have a lot more assets, then that's probably going to lead you to a positive net worth. But if you've got a load of liabilities, then that's probably going to lead you to a negative net worth. And you guys saw that I had a whole load of liabilities when I first started, so that meant that I had a negative net worth. So I'm obviously going to show you guys my net worth statement. Now, I have done 2 versions, and the reason why is because I wouldn't usually count student loan in my net worth, mainly because I don't actually see it really as like a huge debt. I kind of see it as more of a graduate tax, so I don't really tend to look at it very much, and I don't actually plan on overpaying it, to be honest. But I know a few of you guys were interested in seeing what my net worth was, including my student loan, so I have done 2 versions for you. So this is my net worth statement, and we're first going to look at the statement without the student loan. Now again, this is a spreadsheet that I made, so if you watch my previous budgeting video where I was actually going through the spreadsheet and my budget, this was basically on the first page, and I think I did mention that I wouldn't be showing my net worth in that video because of course I was waiting to do it in this video, so that's why you can see it. And basically what I've done is I've actually done it for the whole year. So what I actually really want to do is really start afresh from next year. So I will have January to December, and I actually want to see sort of how I've progressed next year. So I'm really excited for that. Obviously, because I just made the spreadsheet this month, that's why it's kind of just got like November and December on there. But that's the reason why I've graded it out, because hopefully from next year I will literally have like January to December and it will just be all clean. And again, I will have the tabs down here. Obviously I wouldn't include this student loan part, but I will have the tabs from January to December, and that will just be like my whole spreadsheet, and that's where I can just track everything. And the other thing that I wanted to point out is I haven't included the mortgage or my pension in there. So in terms of the mortgage, you guys know I co-own this house with my mum, but my mum more so pays the mortgage. So for me, it didn't really make sense to put it in my own net worth statement because I don't really pay for the mortgage. But then with pensions, I basically need to figure out how much I actually have. And basically, because I've worked in different places over the past few years, it means that I've had like all these different pension pots from all these different companies. So I actually need to figure out how much I have first, and then I need to kind of pull it all together into just one pension pot. Because for me at the moment, I think I have like 5 different pension pots somewhere. So I really need to just put it all into one. I haven't actually done that yet, so I definitely need to do that. But to be honest, there's not going to be much in my pension pot anyway. I definitely don't think I have more than £1,000 in there, and that's just mainly because I did pause my pension contributions whilst I was paying off my debts. So I've only just been starting that again over the last few months once I'd paid off everything basically. And then also the previous jobs that I had, I wasn't earning much, so I don't think I had much, and I think my contribution was like 1 or 2%. So yeah, you'll see everything excluding pensions and the mortgage. But yes, obviously we're going to now look at November, and what I've done is I've obviously put the liabilities, so that will be like my consumer debt, and you can see credit card, nothing. Store card, nothing. Overdraft, nothing. Car loan, nothing. Personal loan, nothing. I have no liabilities when it comes to my consumer debt, which I'm so happy with. Obviously it wasn't like that 2 years ago, but you guys can see that yeah, it's just all zero at that point, which is just amazing to be at that place. So I'm really happy with that. And now we move on to the assets, which I guess is more of the interesting part. So at the moment I've got about £1,000 in savings, so that will go towards the buy-to-let purchase. So I have done a video on my investment plan and how I plan to invest next year and beyond basically. So yeah, again, if you do want to watch that, I will put that up here for you, and I'll put that link in the description below as well. And then I've got about £2,000 in my emergency fund. Now, of course, I preach about having an emergency fund, and I already have a video on how you can actually save for your emergency fund. And I know in that video that I mentioned that a lot of people will suggest that you have about 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. Now, if you've seen my budgeting video, you will know that my expenses are very, very low at the moment. So for me, £2,000 is actually more than 3 months worth. I could probably stretch it to about 4 to 5 months. Now, I am getting married next year and I'm actually going to be renting a place in London. So my expenses are going to skyrocket. So I know that I'm going to need a bigger emergency fund because £2,000 is not going to be enough. So I'm actually going to be increasing that next year. But also my partner's been saving for an emergency fund. So of course it's not just me. But my first goal will be to have about 3 months worth of expenses. And then I'm actually hoping that we can increase that to about 6 months worth of expenses. The only reason why I'd like 6 months is just because I'm quite risk averse. So I would rather just have this safety net, to be honest. That's just me. My partner is like completely different. Like he's pretty much a risk taker and he'd be happy with like 1 month's worth of expenses, to be honest. But yeah, I do feel like I'd be more comfortable if I had 6 months worth of expenses. I think I would just be able to sleep more at night, to be honest. But yeah, that's basically the goal. So we'll definitely be discussing that in the near future. Again, you might think that £2,000 isn't enough, but really when you look at my own expenses, I don't have much. And it's mainly because I'm living at home and my mum pays the mortgage, so I don't have a lot of expenses at all. So when I actually calculated it, that will actually last me a few months. So even if I lost my job, I would probably be able to survive for at least 4 months. So that's why it's £2,000 at the moment. Then we move over to my stocks and shares ISA. So I've got about £767.20, I think, which is good. My stock portfolio has been going up. Again, I do have a video on talking through my stock portfolio, so of course I'll put that link in the description below for you guys. So you can see that my total net worth is about £3,767.20, which I think is quite good, and I'm just really happy that it's finally a positive number because it was definitely not like that 2 years ago. Now, what I will say is that over the past few months I have also been saving up for a wedding. The reason why I didn't actually put that in my net worth statement is because I'm going to end up spending that money, so for me it didn't really make sense. But if you guys are interested, I did have to save about £5,000 for that, and I have saved that money just over the last few months. So essentially, if I didn't have to save for the wedding, I would have an extra £5,000, which would have probably gone into either my savings or my stock market portfolio. So yeah, that would mean my net worth would probably be about just under £9,000. But at the moment it's about £3,767. So what we're going to do now is actually move to the second tab, and now I'm going to show you what it looks like when I include my student loan. And I'm not going to lie, when I include my student loan, my net worth does not look great. So I'm just pre-warning you guys. But here we go. So you can see that in terms of my liabilities, basically everything else is obviously zero. Now, when it comes to the student loan, I've actually got 2. So basically my undergraduate degree after 2012, so that's called Plan 2. But then I also took a postgraduate student loan as well, and that was for about £10,000. So you can see that in total, it's about £58,946.09. So I actually logged into my student repayment plan and basically looked at how much I had left to pay. And yeah, that's basically the number. So what it means is that my total net worth is actually minus £55,178.89. So yeah, again, I feel like if our student loan process was maybe similar to the US, I would definitely be very worried and I would be trying to pay that off as soon as possible. But again, our system is very different, and that's why I really just wanted to do a detailed video on that to really talk through it, because I think some people do have a lot of misconceptions when it comes to student finance in England. But yeah, it really depends on what net worth you want to take. Obviously, I try to take the first one because I don't really think about student loans, but if you took that into consideration, then yeah, it looks like I'm doing well. But if you include the student loans, then it looks like I am basically still in trouble. So yeah, it really depends on which one you take. But yeah, for me, I'm pretty happy, to be honest, and I know I'm gonna really try and increase as much assets as I can whilst also avoiding liabilities. Now, I know a few of you guys have actually been asking how you can get this spreadsheet. Again, I did make it myself, so make sure you do watch Friday's video because I'm actually going to be talking through how you can actually access it. So yeah, I do hope you enjoyed seeing my net worth statement. Please do let me know in the comments below if you're maybe shocked or if you're not surprised. Did you think I'd have a higher or lower net worth? worth? Let me know, guys. And also let me know if you track your net worth as well. I do post every Tuesday and Friday, so if you would like to know more, then of course you can subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys on Friday.